seems like a good idea to have a project car during this whole quarantine thing. And that's why we're debating which Japanese cars under 10 grand would make the best one. I'm discussing it with two of the biggest Japanese car connoisseurs at Roadshow, John Wong and Sean Simkowski. So, John, what's your pick?
Okay, well, for $10,000, pretty affordable, but my pick would be like an early AP1 Honda S2000. Unfortunately, AP2s have kind of skyrocketed up in value. Just cars in general, but just S2000 in general have gone up. So for 10 grand, you're going to be looking at an AP1 S2000 with probably like 130 to 140,000 miles on it. But being a Honda, those engines, as long as they're taken care of, they're pretty much bulletproof. So, that era is a 2-liter engine, 9,000 RPM redline, which is insane. 240 horsepower, 158 pound-feet of torque. And it's connected to like one of the best manual transmissions that I can remember ever driving in the past, 15 or 16 years of me being a professional car journalist. And just great chassis, nimble, responsive, and it's a convertible. So that would be my pick.
Okay. And you're an S2000 owner, right?
Yep. AP2 CR, which is a lot more than $10,000 right now.
So fancy. Mm-hmm. How about you, Sean? What's your pick?
I'm going to keep it in the Honda family and say the Honda Prelude. It's a fun car for under $10,000, and you can easily find a 4th gen, 5th gen, 3rd gen Prelude for under $10,000. I mean, you'll probably be looking at mileage around 100,000. Recently it seems that if you want a super clean one, for low miles, they're starting to creep past $10,000. It wasn't long ago that a low mileage one you could get easily for like $5 or $6 grand. The most popular Prelude by far still seems to be the 5th generation, which is the one people most recognize. It's boxier.
That's like the square headlight one, sort of from the early 2000s.
It was supposed to kind of mimic the 3rd gen, which had the pop-up headlights that everyone loved. But yeah, most people seem to go for that one. With that, you're getting a 2.2 liter H22 4-cylinder. VTEC is in every single one, and it's not a lot of power, but it's enough power to have a lot of fun on whatever road you want to toss it at.
Okay. All right. I am also going to keep it in the Honda family, but only because I'm a little obsessive as of late. And I'm going to say the DC Integra, but I'm not going to say GSR because GSRs are kind of expensive and they are beat to death almost universally. So I would say look for an RS or an LS and then K-swap it. You're still under 10 grand and you have a super light, naturally aspirated car, one of the best handling front-wheel drive cars ever, with a great transmission, an engine that makes over 200 horsepower at the wheels, and it's a Honda, so it's still dead reliable. That's where I'm going, and I've spent just way too much time on the internet looking at all this stuff. There's spreadsheets on my computer that I'm not prepared to show my wife, that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, as someone who owned an Integra GSR, that's a good way to look at it. You could probably save some money drop a K-swap in there and still have a really fun car at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, you can pick up a clean LS or RS for 2-ish grand, maybe 3. And then, if you get fancy with your K-swap, you're looking at 6.5 grand. And then, that leaves you some money to upgrade other things like suspension and brakes, and you're good to go.
So what are people swapping into that? It's K24s?
The real hot swap is a K24 with a K20 head because you get the good VTEC. But, even just a basic K20 swap straight out of like an RSX Type S is going to be a little bit cheaper. And that's, you're still looking at 200 plus horsepower to the wheels with a 6-speed manual and a limited slip diff. So it's a pretty compelling package, I think. The main takeaway here is that it's clearly a big win for Team Honda. So
why? Because it's reliability.
There you go. Exactly.
There's something in the water at Honda during this period.
I think so. I think it was coffee and a lot of it. That's it for this episode of Roadshow's AutoComplete. I've been Kyle Hyatt. You've been really just the best. And I'd ask you to not only hit that subscribe and notification buttons, but if you dig what we're doing, please chime in the comment section and let us know what you'd like us to cover next.